Yeah, I don't buy it. No way guy who started drawing masterpieces at 3 is going to sell me his lies. I was pretty sure early on that artists were chosen by God, touched by some invisible force, able to draw what they imagined. And most people just aren't like that. I definitely wasn't like that. And more importantly, the chosen ones never look like me. My nose is too big and my unibrow too strong. So f*** you, Picasso. Pretentious. You didn't tell us how to remain artists as we got older. You could have been a pedophile. What happened to us? We started as kids with a favorite crayon, a favorite color, a favorite place to draw that little yellow sun in the corner, and somewhere along the way, they stopped asking us to sign our work, even if it was a masterpiece. The truth is, all artists are killed. According to my use of psychology degree, it happens in stages. First, the ego forms at 3 years old, consciousness to evaluate ourselves, the original problem. Second, we draw the sun purple and get corrected by our teachers. Our shame response kicks in as we learn to potty train. Erickson's second stage in psychosocial development. Third, we love the praise when we color inside the lines, when we're given a cookie for our good behavior, operant conditioning, confirmed by pigeons. Fourth, Freud says a superego forms, part of the mind that acts as a self-critical conscience. We begin to suppress and conform to belong. And lastly, we begin to feel the imaginary audience, Elkin's theory. We feel like peers are watching us like we're actors. Our expression is traded for performance. A beautiful symphony of the mind. And since this may be a lot to remember, Pablo, let's call this the rise of the ego man. The one who watches, waiting to catch us in our pitiful act of creation. How do I stop the judgment, Pablo? Because it only gets worse, you know? The teenage years is when the costume party begins.
Good bad, bro. Didn't see you standing there.
Athlete, artist, nerd, future doctor, lawyer, engineer? Erickson called this phase identity versus role confusion. Who am I really? But the world doesn't give you much time and hands you metrics. Psychologist Susan Harder found that by adolescence, self-esteem becomes tied to external validation. Your self-worth rises or falls based on how well your chosen role is received.
What y'all looking at?
That's it. To the office.
By the time you go to college, if the artist has survived, you'll need to be smoothened out, become impressive, hireable, bankable. What's your LinkedIn title? That's when the costume man comes in. He hands you a few options that look good on everyone, a tie or a blouse. Eventually, if you're smart, rational, have responsibilities, you'll leave the artist behind. And then one day, Festinger's cognitive dissonance. The life you live and the person you are speak different languages. And to ease your pain, you begin to accept one or the other.
After a while, it got better.
How am I supposed to change, Pablo? You don't even know the worst part. Suddenly you're not being graded, you're being priced. Psychologist Jeffrey Arnett calls this emerging adulthood.
I think we'd all agree that it takes longer to grow up today than it did in the past.
The shift to knowledge work, the rise of higher education, the delay of marriage, and the explosion of individual choice. You're not a kid, but you're not there yet either. You feel like a late assignment in human form. And you measure your worth in numbers, salary, funding, followers. My soul is a spreadsheet. Fuck your crayons. And somewhere in there you say, I'll create once I'm... That's Maslow's hierarchy at work. You can't reach self-actualization when you're stuck on survival. We're in the hands of capitalism now. Or in simple terms, the paper man. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, I did what you told me to do. I've been in business school at Cornell, undercover, to steal everything I could for the artists. Honestly, really boring, and hopefully this is useful. Taken some terrible notes on accounting, finance, strategy, marketing, AI, and adapted it to somewhat of a legible form. I even took a media and culture intensive to dive into the paperman's ties to the industry, visited Spotify, CNN, New York Times offices in New York to see the system in action, worked with Patreon to try to help artists obtain some kind of freedom, and just for fun, started a late night show for tech to let the undercover artists come out and play. Graduation's in a few weeks, so I need to start releasing it all. And I've got one more heist left. Oh, and Pablo, I'm sorry, you were right. All children are artists, and I was wrong. I've seen it now with my own eyes. Artists don't die, they just go into hiding.
Me and my niggas tryna get it, yeah bitch. Hit that house, nigga, tell me is you with it, yeah bitch.